Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Kwakadash. This is Brother Nasha DC Camp. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone real well. So Akim, it's always good to be abreast, stay informed of what's going on in the Middle East, because those sanctions, man, that the EU and the United States been working on, man, they've been following through on it. So the Iranians are pissed off because they got their oil tanker seized, because they're trying to conduct a business with Syria. All right, so it's gonna get messed up anyway. But at the end of the day, it's just one of those moves that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is making to to ensnare America and allies. So it's all a big setup through the words and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bashim Kodash, because the Most High is the ultimate trap master. So that's exactly what's leading up into, man. The destruction of America. That's the end goal of the Most High's plan. So Esau doesn't really want to accept it, but at the end of the day, it's going to manifest itself, right? So I'm going to get a quick precept here. It's going to be from the book of Jeremiah, all right? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 16. Because Esau has so many of his bases, some of his American bases in the Middle East and in Europe, you know, all geared for war with uh, with Russia, with Syria, with Iran, even Turkey, just in case stuff goes sideways. But at the end of the day, man, it's still gonna go sideways because that's the Lord's plan. Because Esau thinks he's gonna have the upper hand, but he will not. All right, so it's gonna be Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 16. All right, because these corporations, man, that basically control America, they think that their power is insurmountable, that is second to none. But they don't understand that Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is the one that put them in that position, of might, and at any point in time from now, they could be taken down, and that's one thing they're preparing hard for, day and night. But it's coming, and they're not gonna see it. But at the end of the day, that's gonna be their loss. So this Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 16, it says that thy terribleness had deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. And that's Esau right there, That's a clear description of Esau, his origins. Alright? Thou holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, alright, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Alright, so and then you read the next line talks about Edom. It's gonna be destroyed. That's America, you know. So everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. So that's just, a glimpse of America's future. Because, America is known as a gem of the super elites on the face of the earth, that control Europe and Africa and, in fact, the whole world, So America is that launching pad, for them to exert their authority on the face of the earth, So that's one thing they always count on, man. Kind of get the United States to go do the dirty work, break those countries open so they could conduct business and rape and pillage and confiscate, destroy and, get more resources for their coffers. All right. So I got this quick video I'd like to pull up real quick. I spell me out here. So it's gonna be from all right. So this right here, like this one.
HMS Duncan is leaving the Mediterranean Sea and steaming towards the Persian Gulf. The 8,000-ton British Navy air defense destroyer is expected to join HMS Montrose in the region next.
So this is just one of Esau's moves. You know, he has to conduct an exercise under intense and harsh conditions. You know, when the animosity is running high, he likes to subject troops to that. You know, all those are so-called drills that they usually like to practice. You know, mock drills or mock that and mock this. You know, they conduct several drills with different nations on land, air, and sea, and now they have to create some kind of mock, situation, a stage situation, so they could push their ships into a tense environment, a hostile environment, you know, to get them thinking on the next level, to get them to be hardened for war. So that's what Esau's doing, man. He's pushing these so-called troops, you know, into a corner where it's going to be so hard for them to get out of. You know, that they have to think and, think and use their critical thinking skills, you know, look at what they have in inventory as pure ammunition, you know, look at the troop readiness and all that stuff, you know. So that's what Esau's doing, man. He's testing the waters.
Week, the UK government says HMS Montrose recently drove off boats from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps after they tried to impede a British oil tanker, an accusation Iran denies. UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt says his country...
So when stuff like that happens, they usually have recordings, but we don't see no recordings, man. So whatever it is, man, recordings or no recordings, it doesn't change the fact that they're in hostile territory, and they have to be on their P's and Q's. At any point in time, a false flag could be staged in that location, you know, to go after that UK Navy ship, you know. So it's all a test, you know, until the real deal happens, you know.
Navy will protect British assets in the Gulf.
Obviously very concerning developments, but also I'm very proud of the Royal Navy and the role that they played in keeping British assets British.
Yeah, so glad to say British assets. You know, it's not really for the good of the country, you know, the good of the kingdom. It's always about the elites maintaining their power structure. So that's the reason why they use the Navy as an errand boy, you know, as a so-called bounty hunter, as so-called pirates, to do certain things, you know, to sabotage, you know, to block traffic and all that stuff, you know. So it's just a tool for them to exert their authority. You're not really proud of the Navy, you know, because the folks in the Navy, are just there because they don't have no other thing to do, man. You know, they're not pleased with the way their society is being structured. So they say, well, I must well go for an option where I could get some benefits and go do some things overseas, you know. They're tired of the so-called mundane madness of politics, but they don't know that they opened up themselves for more, you know, foolery, you know.
Shipping safe. We are continuing to monitor the situation very, very carefully.
At Friday prayers in Tehran, a senior Iranian cleric...
Yeah, you can see the old man with his down with the USA flag. You can see all the Elam. You got Esau in the mix. You got Ishmael. You know, you tell some of them might be Jakes too, but at the end of the day, man, you could tell these folks are pissed off. You know, they're feeling the sanctions too.
Warned the UK government to back off.
You dear people have every right to have expectations. And I can assure you that with God's will, this insolence, inattention, and negligence of the English will receive a huge blow from the hands of our powerful orders soon, so that they...
Yep, so Iran is not really on that level to go toe-to-toe with the UK, but at the end of the day, man, you know, they're gonna need to use allies, man. You know, the UK have to use allies, because once they go over there to the Persian Gulf, Mediterranean Sea, shit could go sideways because we have all those so-called Arab countries in North Africa, and also on the other side of the, you know, the Gulf of Aden, around that Somalia area, you know, you got Lebanon, so you got all those little countries, man. Those countries around those areas, man. You don't know how their population will react, you know. That when you see those UK and United States ships passing through, never know how many missiles they will have to launch. You know, the military there might not launch the missiles, but those rebels that get them organize themselves together will start to doing some damage. You know. So let's see. I get another precept here. So this is gonna be from the book of Daniel, chapter 7. Yeah, because it's not fun, losing your assets, man. But at the end of the day, whatever the Lord Yabashima Shai allows you to stomach is what you can stomach. But when you reach that point that you can't take it no more, you gotta yell out, man. And that's exactly what the Iranians are doing. They're angry, they're pissed off. They can't really attack militarily, so they gotta look for other options. All right. So this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 20 says, and of the 10 horns, all right, that's the EU/NATO, that's where in his head, all right, and of the order which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn had eyes, and a mouth that spake great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And that's the United States, that's America right there. The country, the horn, whose look was more stout than his fellows. That's why, they like to use America to stage their operations, man. That's why America is also known as the tip of the spear. America has to do the leg work. America is basically the muscle of these international bankers, man. That's what America is, and whatever America is able to accomplish on the battlefield, that's able to be translated into profit and control, for the elites. So that's why they like to push all their cronies and their right-hand men and right-hand women into all these government positions and private sector positions, so they could have more dominance. It doesn't matter if it's in education, pharmaceutical, the World Bank, the IMF, colleges and universities, whatever they could use, man, to maintain control, they'll do it, all right, as well as in the media. So it's no big surprise. So I'm just going to keep bringing up a few more precepts. So this is going to be from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 12. All right, so it says, for man also knoweth not his time. All right, so these Edomites, man, they think, that their power is the is the supreme, on the face of the earth, but they don't understand that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is the one that's putting them in that position, of deception, and that pride is like it's a drug, that they get blind to it once they get drunk. All right, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. And that's what the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is doing. All right, he's putting these heathens in difficult positions, that their judgment is beginning to get clouded, So that confrontation between the United States and Iran is going to happen. It's all part of prophecy. Russia will be involved. China will be involved. Saudi Arabia will be involved. The UK will be involved. Including NATO. So it's not going to be everybody just back down. No, it's going to be a real deal. A lot of folks will die. Nuclear missiles will be flying back and forth. Casualties will be at an all-time high upon the face of the earth. So it's going to be serious, So you just got to pray the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai covers you, with his mercy, during those times, man. All right. And the last precept I will get will be from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 24. All right. So it says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. That's America's code name in the Bible, according to prophecies in these last days. All right. And thou was not aware. So America's, thinking that they're the real deal, but they don't understand that the Lord has something, in the works for them around the corner. All right. So the destruction within and the destruction without. All right. So America is basically being cornered by the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. You know how it is with war. War got to be fought on the land, air, and sea, and you also have the cyber war they got to deal with. All right. So it's going to be terrible, for America in these last days. So it says, thou art found and also caught. All right. Just like you read in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and 12, like birds and fishes, caught in a snare and a net. That's how America is going to be, cornered by the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. It's just like playing the game of chess. It says, because thou hast striven against the Lord. So Esau thinking he can go against the Lord's program and deceive the people of the earth. It's not going to happen, all right? But so that's about the point. Let's see what else is still in the video.
They will forever regret their actions.
And that's part of prophecy right there. They will forever forget their regret their actions. All right. So that's one thing the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, says that there shall be a perpetual desolation, and they go into captivity. So all these, battle for the elite is coming to an end. It's going to reach an all-time high in World War III, and after that, that's it. That's the epic ending of these elites.
Disputes between the UK and Iran is bubbling up as the Trump administration,
Iran, if you're listening, you better be careful,
tries to increase pressure on Tehran to scrap its nuclear program. Soon after Trump delivered his warning to Iran, the US House of Representatives had a warning for him.
The bill is passed.
On Friday, the House approved a measure that would bar the president from authorizing a military strike on Iran without congressional approval. But with Republicans...
But that's not going to happen, So it's all theatrics, So both Democrats and Republicans, they're basically puppets on a string. They're all controlled by the same elites that, plan on destroying the American Constitution. The folks that make life unbearable for these so-called Americans that like to push all these so-called immigrants towards the southern border with their games and tactics. So all these tricks of pressure from above and pressure from below, it's all one of those things the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has put in the mind of these elites to think that they're smart, to put America in a tight position. But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing. America is in a tight position. So all these so-called government officials, they find it hard, to run away, because where they're going to run away to, they're already on the take. They could be smoked at any time by their so-called bosses if they disobey. So they'll go all the way to the end because they're just in. They can't afford to be living around regular folks. They have that so-called air of arrogance and pride and being pompous. All right, so that's in a nutshell, man. The so-called elected officials don't care about the people. They're just there to do the will of their bosses and to make money doing so.
Still in charge of the US Senate, the vote is highly unlikely to progress beyond a symbolic rebuke of the Commander-in-Chief.
So, Commander-in-Chief got to order the troops into battle, and people are not going to like it. But the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai loves it, because that's a beautiful way of letting your enemy know that, hey, you got the balls, step up to the plate. Let's get busy. So just the point that I came, Kahala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kwakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of great mystery and rule well, and the I came preaching the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, with all sincerity and diligence of mind. Yep, so this hostility between Esau and the Persians, especially between the UK and Iran, and then you have to add America to the mix. All right, so you can't ignore it. It's going to be happening very soon, man. It's going to be difficult in these last days. So just pray that the Lord Yahweh gives you the patience to accept these bitter times we're living in. Shalom.